Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm DarkJack, and in this video I'm playing some Call of Duty Black Ops on the PS3. And before I get into my commentary, I have to make a disclaimer. On the Xbox there are good players and bad players, and on the PS3 there are good players and bad players as well. But the difference is that on the PS3 you're much more likely to get into a lobby of players who are not very good at the game in comparison to the Xbox. And so if you pay attention to the YouTube scene, almost all the gameplays on YouTube that have over 150 kills or more have come on the PS3 and not on the Xbox. And to my knowledge, there is not a single legitimate gameplay on the Xbox where someone gets over 200 kills on Black Ops 2. And I'm going to explain why that is in this video. And if you still don't believe me, I'm going to put two different links in the description. One is to a gameplay by Jay Nasty, where he gets 86 kills using knife only on PS3, and the other one is a 238 kill streak on the PS3 in Black Ops 2, which is pretty insane. Now, the first reason why Xbox players are generally better than PS3 players is because the DLC comes out first for the Xbox, and then for PS3 and PC. So what that means is that hardcore Call of Duty players, who are big-time fans of the series, are more likely to buy the Xbox version than the PS3 version. And then the second reason is that for the first game that came out for the PS3 of Black Ops 1, that game had screen-tearing and framerate problems because you could not install the game to the hard drive. And so as a result, if you played the game for a really long time, the Blu-ray player could malfunction and overheat. And so that resulted in framerate problems. And as a result of that, a lot of people who bought Black Ops for the PS3 instead bought the game for the Xbox because they didn't want to take the risk of the PS3 version of Black Ops 2 having the similar problems. And the third reason is that the Xbox has a higher percentage of players who are fans of first-person shooter games, because the Xbox exclusives are primarily shooter-type games, like Halo, Gears of War, and Left 4 Dead. And so because of that, players on the Xbox are more inclined to buy and play shooter games than players on the PS3, whereas the PS3 has a wider variety of different types of gamers. The fourth reason is that because the Xbox has a subscription fee, what that means is that casual gamers are more likely to not play on the Xbox because they don't want to have to pay some sort of subscription fee to play their games that they enjoy. And then the fifth reason is that many Call of Duty players in the Xbox are former Halo players, like myself, and so because they have a Halo background, Halo is a game that has a very high skill gap, and it requires teamwork and communication. And so when they left Halo to go play Black Ops because they didn't like Halo Reach, they brought with them that competitive spirit and that teamwork and the concept of doing call-outs and playing with teams. They brought that over with them, and so whereas they try-harded in Halo, they brought that try-hard mentality over to Call of Duty. And then another reason is that the Xbox comes with a microphone, whereas the PS3 does not. And because of that, you're more likely to find people with microphones, and people are more likely to play as a team and to do call-outs and stuff like that. And then another thing that favors the Xbox players is that they have party chat. And so what that allows them to do is that it makes it easier to play in full parties. So as a result, there are many more full parties on the Xbox than the PS3, whereas on the PS3, there are very few parties. Because on Xbox, once you're in the party, all you have to do is hit one button to invite everyone, whereas on the PS3, you have to manually invite every single person. And so that can be a hassle playing with a group on PS3, especially if everyone disconnects and the lobby ends, and you have to manually re-invite everyone. Whereas on Xbox, you can just hit a single button. So people who play in parties are more likely to play on the Xbox than the PS3. Then another reason why is that I found that many of the Call of Duty players on the PS3 are much younger than the Xbox players, and there seem to be a lot more split screeners on PS3 as well. And so younger gamers who don't want to pay some sort of subscription fee because they're young, they don't have a job, they're dependent on their parents for their gaming money. They don't want to have to spend that on some sort of subscription fee, so they just want to pay once for the console and then they just want to play it. So they tend to be younger than the Xbox players, who generally I find to be not more mature in the sense that they're really immature, but they're older, and they take gaming more seriously than the PS3 players. Then the ninth reason is that when the PS3 was hacked about 2 years ago, a large portion of its Call of Duty addicts left for the Xbox, because they could not stand not being able to play Call of Duty Black Ops for a month. So they went out, they traded in their PS3 and all the games and bought an Xbox and Black Ops. And so they've been there ever since. So the Xbox has inherited a large portion of the PS3 Call of Duty addicts. Then the last reason is that the Xbox 360 controller was specifically designed for first-person shooter games. So when you compare the two controllers, the PS3 controller is basically the same as the PS1 controller. And when the PS1 was invented, first-person shooter games were not the dominant market. But when the Xbox 360 came out, they made the controller for Halo 3 and for first-person shooter games. So personally, I find the Xbox controller to be a little more comfortable than the PS3 controller because it fits into my hands, whereas with the PS3 controller, when I hold on to it for long periods of time, it hurts my hands because I have to grasp onto it, whereas the Xbox controller just kind of rests in my hands. It doesn't take any effort to hold on to it because it just sits there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay and commentary, and I'll see you guys later.